Welcome to RED35, and today we have a special guest, Zoha, and we are going to look at this, one of the latest 50mm lens by 7Artisans. Right, first I want to talk about this, this latest 50mm lens from China. But what do you think of China? What are they usually famous for, Zoha?
Like fake copies and stuff. Am I allowed to say that on camera?
Well, actually, to be fair, it is, because this is actually a clone, or so to speak, to a much more expensive lens from Germany. And in fact, over the last 3 to 4 years, you probably have seen quite a few very fast 50mm lens come from China, because they all trying to provide a lower cost alternative for people who may not be able to afford the real thing.
But does it work as well?
It works, but we're going to find out whether it's actually that good, compared to the real thing or not. But just from the appearance itself, I think
I would never have guessed. It looks pretty genuine.
Yeah, you saw the real thing.
I saw the real thing.
So this is actually quite close to the genuine thing, and then it's also made from metal as well. You can actually feel of it.
Yeah, it's not like plasticky.
No, and I would guess it's probably grade A. Good.
There's grades of goods?
There's grades of goods as well, yes.
So this is a very deep market.
Yeah, so I don't know whether it's actually grade A or grade A plus or maybe B plus. So we're going to find out what grade this is.
I'm impressed. China's doing well.
Yes, it is. Like you said, booming economy.
Booming economy.
To find out whether this is a grade A or A plus or B plus, I think we're going to have to do a little bit of a comparison to the real thing, shall we? So this is the genuine Leica Noctilux. Ta-da! Well, it's a heavy piece of thing, it's so kind of...
Maybe don't give this to me.
It really is a jewelry, I think,
It's really heavy.
It just, amazing. But let's take this off. Okay, what do you think of this?
Oh, that's quite light, but it's still heavy.
It's still heavy.
It's still heavy.
I think in terms of build quality, this is actually not bad. It's fully metal. It even comes with a metal cap, which Leica doesn't. Leica gives you a plastic cap.
Oh, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't. I mean, even though the thing is metal, but
China has a one-up on Leica.
Yeah, China has one because it's got a metal cap, right? But in terms of the lens itself, it's pretty good. I mean, it's full metal, and it hasn't got click stop like the Leica. The Leica has a click stop aperture, and the focus is both equally quite smooth, and they both have really big, bright aperture. I can see you in the dark. Well, and they both, nearly equal in terms of light gathering capability. This is 0.95, of course, is the fastest lens in the world, and this is 1.1, so it's close enough. But yeah, build quality is. What do you think?
I didn't know this was a fake. I thought it was the same company but like a different kind of lens.
Yeah, but it looks similar, doesn't it? It does look similar. Yeah. But this is the real thing, and build quality. If you rate this is genuine. What do you rate this as? A plus, B plus, C?
A. I didn't even know it was fake, so that's an A, right?
It's an A.
But now that I look at it, it's got a little bit of Chinese over there, so maybe.
I'm gonna Tipex it out.
It's gonna Tipex it out.
I'm gonna Tipex it out. So, grade A. All right, there you go. Build quality A.
Double thumbs up.
We're gonna come to image quality.
Yeah, that's probably a little bit more important, isn't it?
Yes, of course. Yes.
A little bit.
Right. I've done some quick shoot between these two lenses and with you. I do think, in terms of this is really, I can only comment on that because I was the one who's looking at these photos. I think you gave A for the build quality, but I think in terms of image quality, I can only give probably C, maybe C minus, compared to the real thing. And of course, Leica is known for the optics, and this being the kind of the crown jewel of the Leica lens lineup, I think you just really can't compare with a multi-thousand-pound.
Yeah, no. When you put them
lens.
together, I don't think there's any way that the image quality would be the same.
But in terms of like effect, depth of field, I think is very equivalent. Like they got very same thin kind of shallow depth of field. You can blur the background quite nicely. But in terms of contrast, details, colors, even distortion, you just cannot compare with this lens. This is just really nice. But having said that, like for the price of these things, you just cannot argue with this performance, because let's do a price guess.
Yeah, I was just going to say, how much is it?
Let's do a price guessing work now. Right, okay. You know how much this worth?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do know how much this worth.
Yeah,
okay,
which
now,
was an absolute shock to me.
Okay, and now you can guess how much this worth now. Okay, have a feel again, have a play around to see.
I mean, now that I know it's fake. So originally about this one, I asked her if it was £500. So is this £500?
Well, actually a pretty good guess, but then you can go a little bit lower. You can go a little bit lower. You can go a little bit lower.
Really? I don't know, like 250?
Oh, well, okay. A little bit higher.
350?
Around about 300 quid. Around about 300 quid this lens.
Okay, that's really good then.
It is.
That's amazing.
Like that is, what, about 20 times?
Yeah, I thought it would be half, maybe.
And so it's about 20 times, yeah. But, okay.
Can I say how much that is?
Yeah, go on then.
This little thing is £9,000. That's more money than I've made in the past 3 years.
Well, so this is 9,000. This is 300 quid. And so, how does the performance price per pound per performance? Is there such a thing? Okay.
It is now.
Yep.
It is now.
Pound per performance rating. I think in terms of that, this is actually not bad. For the price.
Yeah, if it feels grade A.
For 300 quid, and it's a working lens. It's not fake. Fake in the sense you can't take picture.
Yeah,
so you can.
It works.
It works as a lens, and it works as a proper rangefinder lens, which is actually a bonus. And it's
And it comes with a cap.
It comes with a metal cap. 6-bit coded lens, which is actually quite cool. It works flawlessly with any digital Leica camera. So there aren't many super fast 50mm lens for rangefinder cameras apart from the Voigtlander Nocton. So there are only basically 3 super fast lenses. It's this, the Leica, and the Voigtlander. Only 3 of them. And this is by far the cheapest. This is by far the most expensive, and Noctons kind of sit somewhere in the middle. And I think image quality may sucks a little, but but I guess
Sucks a little.
but
I mean, Jimmy, come on, it's £300. That's not a lot of money,
exactly.
right?
For the price, you cannot argue. I think for people who may want to experiment, like before they fork out $9,000 for a lens, like,
I would go for this one, to be honest.
Well, it still takes.
It still takes pictures.
Okay, picture.
Yeah.
I think I will leave the judging by the audience who want to see
probably.
the picture.
Yeah.
You can judge which lens is better, or whether it's worth 300 quid or this worth $9,000. So it's up to you guys. So you just have to look at the photos clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to see all her beautiful face and eyelashes and and the hair and everything. Just to judge the sharpness yourself. Okay, there you go. That's your. That's my verdict. It's a C- for image quality. That's really just me. So let you guys judge from the pricing point of view.
One of the things that actually makes the 7Artisan lens stand out is the actual ability to adjust the focus yourself. Well, when I say that, like you can actually calibrate the focusing mechanism in the lens so it matches your rangefinder, perfectly. This is something that I haven't seen it done before. Usually you have to send it for calibration, you send it back to Leica, or you send it back to the factory if you're using like Voigtlanders or other lenses. There aren't many actually places you can actually do it, because it's such a delicate process, because the focusing mechanism in Leica is actually very, very difficult to match. So this is actually quite cool, and it's actually very easily done. And of course you can see the tool that is included in the box is There's a tiny little screwdriver here. There's just right there. There's a little screwdriver, and then you also have a little focusing tab which you can stick onto the lens itself if you wish. But I actually kind of like, you know, just like it like this. You know, it's kind of just very clean looking. You know, it's only up to you if you really want to use the focusing tab that you really want. It's included. To adjust the focusing is actually quite simple. There are only 2 screws that you need to loosen up, and then it will be it. So you can see one just right there, and that's another one just right there. So loosen these 2, and you can use this little screw there, sorry, this little screwdriver here, just put to the hole here and turn it left and right depending on whether it's near focus or further focus. You know, it's actually quite awesome. It's a very simple process, you know, and you know, you can just do it as many times as you wish, you know, and that doesn't affect the performance of the lens whatsoever. It only just adjusting the focusing distance, you know, from the actual Holy core itself to the rangefinder mechanism here. You can see that this knob here. So that's the distance that is adjusting, so making sure that it actually matches. So that is pretty cool, you know, and you know, I think all M lenses have this feature, so you know, it's actually very easy to do. You're not damaging your lens at all, you're only adjusting the distance, so which is awesome. And of course, one last thing is that this lens is actually 6-speed coded, as you can see here. So this lens can be read by any modern digital Leica camera, and this one is calibrated to be the 50mm 1.1 Leica lens, believe me or not. So it's been coded like that. So you know, it works. You know, it doesn't really calibrate too much because this lens does have a lot of optical defects like color shift to one side, to a little bit magenta corners, which can be corrected in post. It's not too difficult. A little bit of barrel distortion, but overall it's actually pretty cool. Included is the calibration sheet. So it's actually very straightforward, like I said, you know, like you just set it to what is actually described here. You know, set your tripod, you know, 2 meters away from the little focusing knob here, well, not knob, the little pattern here, cross pattern, and then basically trying to focus. And I think with the live view feature from the M240 or the M10, it actually helps it dramatically because you can use the live view to double check against your rangefinder to see whether they actually do matches. So it's actually pretty easy thing to do from M240 onward, especially with those Leicas, the modern Leicas with the digital live view feature. Another thing that I think that makes this lens a little bit different to traditional M lenses is that it hasn't got click stop. Well, of course, you know, you track back to the early days, some of the older rangefinder lenses, they never had click stop anyway, but that, you know, kind of all changed since the M lenses or the M mount started. And of course, some of the late screw mount L39 mounts also had click stop, but then you know, some of the really early ones that they never had it. But anyway, this one hasn't got any click stop, so you have to actually kind of have your eyes on the setting before you take the shot, you know, to make sure you actually have the correct aperture setting, because you know, like unlike some other lenses, you just cannot do it by feel. Obviously, when you turn all the way to the left, it's always the wide open setting, which is like any M lenses. So, but as you stop down, you just have no feeling whatsoever. You know, you just don't know whether you know, like you're actually shooting at 1.4, 1.8, 2, whatever. You know, you just cannot feel it at all.
One of the negative, I think, with the 7Artisans 50mm 1.1 is the color shifting on the corners. There is a little bit of color shifting, and also there's a little bit of distortion. But there's something that I think the Artisan is actually better than in Noctilux is the bokeh ball. Well, in wide open, I think the Noctilux still beats it. It's more creamier, it's better, and it's nicer. But when it's starting to close down, the Artisan is actually quite smooth. It's got so many blades, and then when it shuts down the aperture, it's actually very, well, it remains circular. I'm biting my tongue. And yeah, it's circular, so it's actually quite nice. You know, while the Noctilux closes down, it becomes kind of like a star shape. So you know, it's depending what you want to achieve. But I guess in that regard, so I think the Artisan is actually slightly better. So there's a little plus there, at least for a 300 quid lens.
Yeah.
Come on, son, give me some sun. Well, we have a kind of cool shoot just now, and you saw the pictures?
I did.
I think hands down, I think the Leica, the original beats these things,
Definitely.
no question about it.
100%, yeah.
But for the price,
It's not too bad for the price. I mean, it takes pictures.
it works.
So, yeah, it works.
So I think, my conclusion would be, if you're just coming into the rangefinder market or just starting up with Leica system, this is actually a good kind of cheap way to get yourself into the rangefinder photography. It kind of does what the real one does, but not quite there. So
Yeah.
I think
It tries.
it's okay. But I think if you really want the best, the best, like you just have to go with the Noctilux. There's no replacement. I know it's an expensive lens, but you do get what you pay for at the end. If you want a specialist lens,
Yeah, if you're paying that much, then you're probably the kind of person who knows exactly what they want and therefore should go for it.
Exactly. So I guess it's not bad. I think overall grading it would be
B?
B. All right, I'll run with B.
It's been so well behaved. I'm gonna give it a B.
It is a B then.
Okay, have you not seen any horror movies?
No.
That's where you get stabbed in the eye. So don't do that.
Why are you doing it though?
I'm far away. There's no knife that long. Okay.
But I just want to see
No,
what
oh my god, don't do that.
But anyway, hope you liked the video, and if you please do subscribe and follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and all the links are gonna down below in the description. And do check out Zoha. We're gonna put her link down there as well.
Yeah, I'm an actress and I like to model, so hit me up. Not in that way though.
Hit her up.
No, not in that way. Just to collaborate.
Yeah. And if you want to see her more in the show, do this as well. Yay!